Hi everyone! I just wanted to come on here and thank every single one of you for your support, taking the time and effort out of your day to be there and cheer me on with the other girls. It means so
Alex
much.
Eala's secret romantic life exposed? 20 photos that broke the internet and have everyone talking. Hold on to your seats, because we are about to dive deep into the story that has tennis fans, celebrity watchers, and curious minds across the entire internet completely losing their minds right now. We are talking about Alex Eala, the Philippines' golden girl of tennis, the young woman who has been absolutely setting the sport on fire with her racket, and now, apparently, she is setting something else on fire too. Because 20 photos have surfaced online, and let us just say, the internet has not been able to calm down since. Welcome back to Court Vision Plus, your #1 destination for everything tennis, everything dramatic, and everything you absolutely need to know about the biggest personalities in the sport today. And today? Oh, today we have something truly special. If you have been sleeping on the Alex Eala story, both on and off the court, then consider this your very loud, very urgent wake-up call. Because this young woman is not just a tennis prodigy anymore. She is a full-blown cultural phenomenon, and these 20 photos prove it beyond any shadow of a doubt. Now before we get into every single delicious detail, do us one quick favor. If you are new here, smash that subscribe button right now, because we cover stories like this every single week and you do not want to miss a single second of it. And if you are already part of the Court Vision Plus family, welcome back. You already know we never disappoint. So let us set the scene. Alex Eala, 22 years old. Born in Manila, Philippines. Trained at the prestigious Rafa Nadal Academy in Spain from the time she was just a teenager. Multiple junior Grand Slam titles already sitting on her shelf. A professional career that has been picking up serious momentum on the WTA Tour. A face that has graced magazine covers. A personality that has charmed everyone from fellow players to press rooms to fans watching from their living rooms halfway around the world. This is a young woman who, by every possible measure, is on the absolute rise. And with that rise comes something very natural, very human, and very irresistible to the public curiosity about her personal life.
What is going through your mind right now?
I'm so blank. I'm thinking of my parents who are watching now. Mom, Dad, nakuha ko! Oh my God!
And that is exactly where these 20 photos come in. The images began circulating online and almost immediately, social media platforms lit up like a Christmas tree in Times Square. We are talking thousands of comments, trending hashtags, fan accounts going absolutely haywire, and people who had never even watched a tennis match in their lives suddenly very, very interested in Alex Eala's story. Why? Because these were not your typical athlete promotional photos. These were not action shots of her crushing a forehand down the line or celebrating a tournament victory. These were something different. Something softer. Something that showed a completely different dimension of a young woman the world thought they already knew. The photos captured Alex Eala in what can only be described as romantic-themed settings, elegantly composed, beautifully styled, radiating a warmth and vulnerability that her fans had never quite seen before. Think gentle lighting, thoughtful expressions, a certain dreamy quality that stopped people mid-scroll and made them look twice. In some photos she is draped in soft, flowing outfits that highlight her graceful figure. In others, she is captured in quiet, intimate moments that feel almost like pages torn out of a love story. There is a sense of youthful romance hanging over the entire collection, and whether intentional or not, the effect on the public has been absolutely electric. Now here's where things get really interesting. Because the moment these photos started spreading, the speculation machine kicked into overdrive. Fans and followers began asking the question that everyone was thinking but nobody could quite answer: who is this for? Is Alex Eala in a relationship? Is there a special someone in the picture? Is our girl, the tennis princess of the Philippines, officially off the market? The comment sections, as you can imagine, became absolutely chaotic in the best possible way. Fan accounts dedicated to Alex Eala were flooding timelines with reactions ranging from pure joy to theatrical heartbreak. Some fans were writing full paragraphs declaring their happiness for her. Others were writing equally full paragraphs pretending to be personally devastated. And then there was the very large middle group who were simply demanding answers, tagging everyone they could think of, desperately trying to piece together the mystery like they were solving a very glamorous detective case. But here is the thing about Alex Eala that makes this story even more compelling. She has always been remarkably composed about her personal life. In interviews, she is articulate, thoughtful, and focused almost entirely on tennis. She talks about her training, her goals, her gratitude for the support of Filipino fans worldwide. She talks about learning from Rafa Nadal, about the discipline required to compete at the highest levels of professional tennis, about what it means to carry the hopes of a nation on her shoulders every single time she walks onto a court.
I just hope that this support continues with the losses along with the wins. I think that would really touch me. But then again,
she is, by all accounts, extraordinarily mature for her age. And part of that maturity has always included keeping her romantic life, if indeed she has one, very firmly behind closed doors. Which is precisely why these 20 photos hit so differently. Because for the first time, the public was getting a glimpse of Alex Eala that felt genuinely personal. Not curated for sponsorship content. Not designed for tournament promotion. Not filtered through the usual athlete public relations machine. These photos felt real. They felt intimate. They felt like a peek behind the curtain of a young woman who spends most of her life performing at an elite level and rarely, if ever, lets the world see the softer side of who she is away from the baseline. And the internet, being the internet, absolutely devoured it. Let us talk about the broader context here, because understanding Alex Eala's journey is essential to understanding why these photos hit with such enormous force. This is a young woman who left her home country as a child to pursue a dream that most people told her was nearly impossible. She moved to Spain. She trained under the shadow of one of the greatest tennis players who has ever lived. She competed in junior tournaments across Europe, across the world, learning to navigate not just the physical demands of professional tennis but also the psychological pressure of being far from home, far from family, carrying elected accolades that made headlines back home and slowly, steadily began building a reputation as the real deal, not just a promising young player, but an athlete with genuine Grand Slam potential.
Great opportunity for me. Win or lose tomorrow, I think it's great for me to learn. Obviously, facing a player like Coco is, something people...
The Filipino tennis community, which had been waiting for a true standard bearer at the highest level of the sport, found their champion in Alex Eala. And that relationship between athlete and nation created something incredibly powerful and deeply emotional. A level of public investment in her life and her story that goes way beyond what most athletes experience. So when 20 romantic photos suddenly appear online, you better believe the people who have been following Alex Eala's journey from the very beginning are going to have a lot of feelings about it. Now, in the time since these photos emerged, there has been significant additional buzz building around Alex Eala that has only amplified the conversation. Her career trajectory on the WTA Tour has been gathering serious attention, with rankings improvements that have analysts and former players taking note. She has been competing with increasing confidence against established names in the sport, demonstrating the kind of mental fortitude under pressure that cannot be taught. It can only be earned through hard matches and harder lessons. Every tournament result, every round advancement, every upset win adds another layer to the legend that is clearly in the process of being written. And what makes Alex Eala particularly fascinating from a modern sports media perspective is the way her story spans so many different worlds simultaneously. She is a Filipino icon. She is a globally trained professional. She is a product of one of tennis's most famous academies. She is a social media personality with a following that spans continents. She is a young woman navigating all of the regular complexities of being in her early 20s while also doing it entirely in public. under the scrutiny of a fan base that loves her deeply and watches her closely. The 20 photos, in many ways, represent the natural collision of all of these worlds. Because Alex Eala does not just belong to the tennis court anymore. She belongs to popular culture. She belongs to the broader conversation about young athletes, identity, personal life, and the very human desire to be known as a complete person rather than just a sports machine. And these photos say, perhaps louder than anything she has ever said in an interview, I am a young woman with depth, with emotion, with a personal life, and I am not afraid to let you see a little of that. The elegance captured in the photos deserves a specific mention because it is genuinely striking. Alex Eala has always been considered beautiful. That is not a controversial statement. It is simply observable reality.
I would love to play mixed doubles, of course, with Novak or Alcaraz, and I think Joao Fonseca.
But beauty in athletic contexts is often framed very specifically around performance, around physical capability, around what a body can do on a court or a field. These photos reframe the conversation entirely. They present Alex Eala as someone who possesses a different kind of presence, a romantic, almost cinematic quality that feels more like a leading actress in a film than a professional athlete between tournaments. The warmth in her expressions. The thoughtfulness in her poses. The overall aesthetic that feels deliberately crafted to communicate something personal and intimate. It is genuinely stunning work, and it has given the world a version of Alex Eala that many people did not even realize they were hungry to see. Fan communities across the Philippines have been particularly active in response to the photos, and the reaction there deserves its own extended discussion because it truly captures the unique relationship between Alex Eala and her home country. In the Philippines, Alex Eala is not just a tennis player. She is a symbol. She represents the possibility of excellence on the global stage. She represents the idea that Filipino talent can compete with and beat the best players from the traditionally dominant tennis nations. Every time she wins, the entire country wins with her. And every time she shares a piece of herself with the world, the entire country feels it personally. So the photos ignited something genuinely emotional across Filipino social media. Pride, of course, pride that their champion is blossoming into such a remarkable young woman in every dimension. Excitement about what the future holds, both on the court and off. And yes, plenty of the playful, affectionate speculation that characterizes how a deeply invested fanbase responds when their favorite person appears to be experiencing something joyful and romantic. The comment sections on Filipino celebrity and sports pages were filled with exactly the kind of warm, enthusiastic energy that reminds you why sports fandom, at its best, is fundamentally about love. International tennis communities also picked up the story, with fan accounts from Europe, the United States, and Asia all weighing in on the photos and adding their own layers of speculation and enthusiasm to the conversation. This speaks to something important about where Alex Eala now sits in the broader landscape of professional tennis. She is no longer just a regional story. She is a global figure whose life and career generate genuine interest from tennis fans around the world who recognize that they are watching the development of someone special. The timing of the photos, interestingly, comes at a moment when Alex Eala's professional profile has been growing at a particularly rapid pace. New sponsorship deals, increased media coverage, a growing presence on the kinds of platforms and in the kinds of conversations that shape how athletes are perceived beyond their sport. There is a sense, when you look at the complete picture, that Alex Eala is in the process of a very conscious and very deliberate evolution, from tennis prodigy to complete public figure. And the romantic photos fit perfectly into that narrative evolution. They are not a distraction from her tennis story. They are an expansion of it. They are evidence of a young woman who is growing into the fullness of who she is, and who is becoming comfortable enough in her own skin to share more of that fullness with a world that is clearly eager to see it.
Magdalene, you know how tough she can be. Other than this incredible crowd, what do you think got you over the finish line?
Oh, I think patience was a very key aspect.
For those who have been following the broader conversation about women athletes and public perception, the way these photos have been received is also worth noting. There has been almost universal positivity in how fans have responded to seeing Alex Eala in this more personal, romantic light. The commentary has been overwhelmingly appreciative, respectful, and enthusiastic in a way that speaks well of the community that has grown around her. Fans recognize her agency. They appreciate that she controls her own narrative. They celebrate her choices rather than scrutinizing them. And that relationship between an athlete who is careful about what she shares and fans who are grateful for every glimpse is a genuinely beautiful thing to observe. Now the question that lingers in the air after all of this is, of course, the one nobody can definitively answer. What exactly do these photos tell us about Alex Eala's romantic life? Is there someone special? Is she simply exploring a new aesthetic dimension of her public persona through the photos? Is this a deliberate personal revelation or simply a creative project that took on a life of its own once it hit the internet? And the honest answer is, we do not know. And honestly, that might be exactly as it should be. Alex Eala has earned the right to control her own story. She has earned the right to share what she chooses to share and protect what she chooses to protect. The photos gave the world a beautiful, tantalizing, genuinely exciting glimpse into a dimension of her life that she rarely shows publicly. And maybe that glimpse is exactly enough. Maybe the conversation itself, the speculation, the excitement, the emotional investment, is the whole point. Not the answer, but the question. Not the conclusion, but the unfolding. What we do know, without any doubt or speculation required, is that Alex Eala's story is one of the most compelling in sports right now. A young woman who left home to chase a dream, who sacrificed and trained and competed her way to the threshold of genuine Grand Slam contention, who carries the pride of a nation, who is growing up in real time in front of millions of watching eyes, and who, as these 20 photos make perfectly clear, is blossoming in every possible dimension simultaneously. On the court, she is a weapon. Off the court, she is a presence. And in these photos, she is something close to breathtaking. The internet has been talking, and honestly, the internet has good taste here. Because Alex Eala deserves every single bit of the attention, the admiration, and yes, the romantic speculation that these photos have generated. She is living her best life, she is playing the best tennis of her career, and she is becoming, right before our very eyes, exactly the kind of global superstar that the sport of tennis and the nation of the Philippines have been waiting for. And we, here at Court Vision Plus, will be watching every single step of that journey with enormous excitement.
I would say that anything is possible and, to dream big. I think me as a person, I'm very ambitious, and although there was no one...
That is the full story, Court Vision Plus family, and what a story it is. 20 photos, one extraordinary young woman, and an internet that absolutely cannot stop talking about both. Alex Eala continues to prove that she is so much more than just a tennis player. She is a phenomenon, she is a cultural moment, and she is only just getting started. If you enjoyed this video, do us a favor and smash that like button right now. It genuinely helps us reach more fans who need to be part of this conversation. Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Are you Team Alex Eala all the way? And what do you make of those 20 photos? We want to hear every single hot take. And if you are not subscribed to Court Vision Plus yet, what are you even doing? Hit that subscribe button and join the family, because we bring you stories like this every single week, and trust us, you do not want to miss what is coming next. Stay locked in. Stay passionate. And we will see you in the next one. This is Court Vision Plus, where the game never stops.
Alex, ang saya-saya lang lahat ng mga Pilipino sa pagkapanalo mo. How good was it to win that, first of all? How good did it feel?
No, it